session. Okay, hi everyone, this is Toni Vanschoyck. I am sharing with you guys today best practices, and we're gonna just continue on from the last two calls that we've had the last 2 weeks in a row, third week in a row. It's just about having conversations, right? And even though some of this might be duplicated or replicated, just know that, it takes on average 7 times for us to hear something or read something to really institute it and make it part of your behavior. So, and you never know who's going to be the right person to say something. So, I just wanted to recap a little bit from last week is that we talked about, anticipation versus anxiety. And we talked about concerns versus objections. Okay. So I really want to, close in on, basically closing language and how to have those conversations. Because what we can do, and even though that, in our files, in our documents and everything like that, and other things that you've heard people say is that each conversation for each person is going to look different because they have different goals and outcomes for what they want. So we kind of have to customize it or curtail it to that. But you guys, by the time, and a lot of people have done this before, a lot of time, they say, hey, yeah, they get to the yes, they see something that you've posted, you've reached out, you've done the messaging, you've commented on their post or what have you, or that you've gotten them to a meeting, or, a call of some sort. But what I really want to do is I really want to talk about closing language, because this is where a lot of people have gaps and they go right for the sale instead of providing the value. And so you've got to provide the value first. But I want you, when you're talking to people, okay, one, never disparage another product or company ever. I don't care. I don't care how shitty of a company they are. We never disparage. We always take the high road. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that we always want to state what we can do, right? We want to be the can doers, not the can't doers. Okay. The other thing is too, is that you want to be very respectful of them and also use respectful language. I mean, y'all, I know you, so I can talk a little bit more freely, and people, that watch our trainings and stuff like that. But for somebody that's brand new, I'm going to be, I'm just going to be careful on the wording that I choose. And I'm always going to say, and rarely do I say, but, because but is a negative, right? Your positioning on the value that you put into the opportunity or the product is everything. And the other thing is, you guys, this is the one thing that we're all famous, is that you've got to be concise. You can't do word vomit on people. Please trust me, less is more. Okay. The other thing is too, and these are just 6 things. And 1, you identify their needs. 2, guys, we've got to be the one initiating the conversations. Okay. I just was on a webinar prior to this, and it's kind of cool. I'm actually going to do some exploratory, research on it. It's how to automate everything through AI. And there's a platform now that this guy has created, which is really intriguing to me because we don't have to do all of the work. So again, we want to find simple systems that we can implement. I played around with group tracks for a little bit, but I'm not sure how I feel about that. And that's how to automate messaging in Facebook groups and stuff like that. But, at the end of the day, technology is really going to shape our industry. The next thing that you want to do is explain the benefits. And you guys know that we have a wonderful list of benefits that you can share. Give a summary of how we can help. And that goes for the product or the business opportunity. So like when I'm talking about the product, the 3 top things, it's plant-based, it's non-toxic, it's carcinogen-free, and it's actually proved to be effective. So it has efficacy, okay? Those 4 things I just rattled right off. For the opportunity, okay, I always say, you know what? We have a car program, we have trip incentives, because those seem to really spark people's interests. And, I can, simply show you how you can make $500 in your first 30 days. The 5th thing is that you always have to listen to the prospect before you answer. And you have to ask them questions. And this ties into this one. You have to ask them questions for clarity. So what I'm like, so then what I go back and I ask them for clarity. So what I hear you saying is that you have scalp challenges, you have dry scalp, your hair is fine and brittle, and you're looking for more manageability and more volume. Is that correct? Okay, because what some things can mean something to one person means something else to someone else. So you want to just make sure that you're asking for clarity. Okay. And you know, again, you guys, I'm just going to beat this into people's head, is that you've got to follow up, right? I follow up within the first hour that they ask for something. I give them the FOMO. And again, I want to go through this because this, the one thing is that, you know, two things that really lead up to not converting is not having enough people in your pipeline and not having the follow-up. Okay. So the one thing is, and I want to come back to follow up here because there was a really good point that was made when I was doing some research on this, is that once they find interest, you send 2 carts. Okay. You send the carts based on what they need. Okay. And I always, without question, throw in a dry shampoo because I don't care. Everybody needs dry shampoo, especially ours. Okay. So that is my first cart. So whether they're looking for, you know, whether it's the IR clinical system, whether it's the smoothing system or anything like that, they automatically get a dry shampoo because I'm like, you can't live without this. You're going to go longer between washes. Okay. The next thing is that I send them the buffet. Okay. So I send them a Rejuvenate oil. I send them the system. You guys, I have been doing systems for a while and it just seems to work really well. I put the dry shampoo in there. By that time, it's triggered Purchase Plus. They're seeing the bigger discount. And so I say, okay, here's the basic, here's the buffet, here's what you need. Depending on their hair type, I will also put in a mask in there as well. So that for me is a complete system. Those 6 products. The other thing is too, is that I say, do you want, you know, it's always like save more, right? Just by doing that. Not only that, it also increases your CV. Tell them the cart expires in 24 hours, give them that FOMO, and especially on whatever, you know, special or OFY that we're running, or maybe it's the end of the month and you're really looking at, you know, hitting another, you know, getting another VIP for Tulum or another market partner for, you know, for rank advancement, whatever the case is, please, for the love, don't ever make it about you, make it about them. Okay. Now I will say if they're a really good friend and they're super supportive of you and you know that they haven't ordered in a while, and just say, hey, you know, we've got this incredible sale going on. I would love to get this for you and pack it up in a nice little pack or a nice little cart for them. Okay. The other thing is too, is that you really want to promote, hey, take a look at this. Let me know in the next 2 hours if you have any concerns, any questions, right? You're opening up that dialogue with them. And then the last thing is if, you know, if their amount that they want to, you know, spend, but let's say out of the 6 products, they want, you know, the non-negotiable is the 5. Hey, look, I really want to get the mask. I just can't do the oil right now. So put that in their future flagship. Okay. It's called negotiation. I'm a really good negotiator. And then the other thing is too, ask them on a scale of 1 to 10. Hey, what's holding you back from making a decision? You know, where are you? Do you want to have the best hair of your life? Do you want to have, you know, still to this day, the best business opportunity that we have out there? Okay. And then of course, if they, you know, if that 24-hour window expires, then within the 48 hours, I'm reaching back out to them again. And then I'm reaching out to them again within 5 days. Okay. And if they still haven't said anything, they're still watching you. Okay. At least get their information and get their email instead of just sending them a link, because then that way you can put them into your pipeline. Okay. And that was the last thing that I really wanted to talk about in order to really create that sense of urgency. Okay. That sense of, you know, hey, and you guys, even though you may have reached out time and time again, okay, it doesn't matter. It just depends. It's that 10th time, or, you know, it's like they've commented on like 30 of your posts on social media in the last couple of years. And they're like, hey, I'm ready. Right. I had a gal that was on product in the second year that we were in Monate, and she reached out just again a couple of weeks ago saying, I don't know why I went off the product. It's been 5 years and my hair needs help. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and again, you're going to get a lot of people. And Kathy, if you could share with you what you shared with us on Thursday about how many exposures did it take for you to come on board?
Hi guys. Honestly, it took so many. I can tell you, you guys, that's where I think we need to remember these people, that they get overwhelmed. And that's why I think this is so important. Katrina gave it to me so many times. She told me so many times about this. And I honestly didn't think I could do it. I'm going to tell you a secret. She told me about and I put the phone down on the side and I just let her talk, and I just put it on speaker, and I just kept making my bed and doing anything but listen to her. Because as soon as she said $30,000, I was like, yeah, go get bent. Like, I will never sell there. I have never sold, like, are you kidding me? Ever. And the end of December, I sold 30,000. Like, so and that was like that's 6 months, you guys. Like, that was 6 months I did it, or less than 6 months. But you know what? I didn't believe in myself. And I have to tell you guys, I have a little different story, because I did not need the money. I did not need the money, you guys. I have 2 or 3 other businesses that I work. And, but you know what got me was this community. And I know people say it time and time again. You guys, Katrina and I did not have, or Kat, you guys know her as Kat, did not have this relationship. Everyone kept saying, how are you doing this with your 2 daughters? And Larissa is on a different team. Like, what are you guys doing? Honestly, Katrina got me to the point where I started believing in myself. And she could see a change in me. So you guys, I want you never to limit yourself. Like, you know how Toni said it a million times. Ray said it a million times. Don't prejudge anybody, you guys. Why didn't someone come to me when I was home with 3 kids and I was babysitting to try and make an extra $150 a month? 5 kids. Like, you guys have to remember how much we got paid back then, but it was not like they get paid now. But why didn't someone bring me this opportunity? I never even thought I'd be good at it. But I want to say, honestly, like Toni said, I got so many times Katrina kept bugging me and bugging me and bugging me that this is something that I would need. And I didn't believe her one bit. And I actually only bought this. And this is one thing that you guys have to remember. I only signed up to help Katrina. That's all I did. So how do you guys know that there's not somebody who's signed up that just to help you or help another one of your market partners that all of a sudden need this, you guys? Like, I needed this so bad. Like, so bad, you guys. Like, no one told me about personal development. I didn't even know that existed. So I want everyone to realize that don't prejudge anybody, you guys. Honestly, there's some old lady like me out there who honestly just wants to be around more women that think the same way we do. And they want great hair. Like, honestly, I loved my hair, and I couldn't believe the change in it. But honestly, you guys, all I needed to be is around these positive women. I was around enough negative women in my life. This is a totally different group of women. This is people who fill your cup all the time. And we don't have that enough in this world. All we are is consumed with such negativity. And I came to this company and was like, these people all want to do good for everybody, and they all want to fill everyone's cup up. And that's what got me. So Katrina couldn't tell me that. I had to be in the company to understand that, you guys. That's where, she told me all about the money and all about that. And that was great. But you need to have people in here to understand. So thank you so much, Toni.
No, thank you so much. And Alyssa said it took her a year to sign up. Right. So so between, when I was in between companies, okay, when I was with the handbag company and I walked away right before they closed, and then I was doing some consulting, I was looking for the next Dare to Be Great situation. It took me a year and a half, right? A whole year and a half, because I wasn't willing to compromise. I wanted something that was so incredibly special, that was so incredibly different, right? Because there's a lot of similarities in our industry, right? So I love looking for the uniqueness. I almost signed up with doTERRA. I had one of my really good friends started it when I was living in Chicago. She was one of the top leaders. She had started in doTERRA before, a year prior. And I'm like, look, I love the oils, but the education portion of it, it was just too much for me, right? I needed simple. I mean, because that's how my brain works, is that I need something that's going to be so simple, just like, our 7 steps to income producing activities, to be able to explain to somebody, just like the product, in 5 to 10 minutes, and show them how they can, how that's going to work for them. And on the business opportunity side, show them how that's going to duplicate. So, who else has any asks or adds?
Toni, I wanted just to add something in here that I think that we often miss, like people miss in the part, because we get passionate about the products, we get passionate about our business, right? But I think that what also you need to do is you need to become unwaveringly passionate about the industry. You need to become educated on why this is the best option for people out there. And you need to like pour that information into yourself, because it's not usually that people don't have like a stigma against a certain company or anything like that. It comes down, when it comes to saying yes to the business, those business minded people, it's like the industry, and explaining to them, not just saying like, oh, it's not a pyramid scheme because we sell a product. Like that's what they've heard. Go and try to figure out what they haven't heard. Right. So I'll give you like something that really, really sticks with me, and it really like hit on my point for me as I was like learning what is this industry, was that when someone actually fully explained to me that there was no cap on the income potential, and they didn't just say it, they actually showed that to me, and they actually related it to my life. So as a massage therapist, I had sat down and figured out the most money I could make in an entire year was $110,000 Canadian a year. And that was massaging 6 days a week, doing 5 to 7 90-minute massages, right? And I knew what my body would feel like after a year of doing that. So when someone showed me about the leveraging time for money, and they showed me how these things can work, and how you work in that place where it's like an income potential that you never had before was available. So don't speak in cliches that you see on these memes and that you see regurgitated in comment sections. Go and actually think about, and like Toni was saying prior to this, go and think about the person that you're talking to, right? Go and think about that person, and how is this industry going to make their life like a flower bed, right? How is that going to happen, right? And really think about that, because for me, the instant point was like, I only have 24 hours in a day, right? And if you know my story, I was using 21 of them to make my life work at that point, right? And so I didn't have more time. So when they didn't say to me, oh, we're fitted into the nooks and crannies, that's how we work it, like that, like I would be like, what nooks and crannies? Right? That was what I would say. But when someone actually showed me, so then the juice became worth the squeeze, right? Then that sacrifice became that. So another way that you can look at it too is like understanding the learn and earn portion, which is in a direct comparison of any other industry that we have. And I like to use, the serving industry, for example, as a perfect example of this. Whereas when I was working as a server, I had 5 shifts at the beginning in my 2-week time there that were unpaid. Unpaid. I had to go in, learn the menu, learn all these different things, and I wasn't paid. And then I had shadow shifts where I really wasn't paid because I was only getting like 1 table. But to get into this job, I had, because of the place I was working at that was going to make the good tips in the long run, I had to have I spent close, I think it was like $500 Canadian just on what I had to wear. So now when that was broken down to me, the learn and the earn part of it, where you have mentorship that's going to hold your hand and you're going to earn money, I was like, whoa, because simply just to be a server was expensive, right? So really get passionate, not necessarily. And I love when you said, Toni, too, like we don't go and compare against other companies and we don't drag them down and we don't bash at them. we're simply just don't look at it as like, well, money here, like take it to get them excited about the industry, get them excited. Wow, money is special. And then when they feel those products and they work, you have someone who jumps in and is running.
You know, that was a really good point. I think, okay, and you guys, everybody has an affiliate program now, right? Everybody, Nike, Amazon, throw any other company out there. That's all we've done for the last 120 years, is that it's just more rich and more robust. I find that, especially now, when I like literally tell people, well, I'm a queen of network marketing because I love the industry, and it's done great things for us. But at the end of the day, like I said before, people don't want to be sold to. We have been in an age of where people expect consumption. And right? I knew this would make you laugh, Kat, but where we have that all we do is consume. And where there has been a fundamental shift, and this is why, you know, the influencers and stuff before that I said have bypassed that. People want honest relationship building connections. And so we have to be producers. We can't be, you know, consume. We've got to be able to produce something of value. This just makes it, you know, this just makes it simpler. So that was one of the things that was on my mind as we were talking about today. And, but yeah, anybody else have anything? We've got a couple minutes left. All right, well, you guys, let's wrap it up, and, you know, I'll get this recording out for you so you can share with your teams. Let's rock and roll. We are at the end of the month. We have, what, 5+ days left. You guys, I'll tell you what, I'm actually surprised. We're up almost $2 million over last month already. So it looks like double-digit percentage growth this month, which I'm very excited for. So keep up the great work, keep up sharing, keep up the positive attitudes, and don't let those no's get you down. All right, you guys, take care. Love you.